G'day, legends. So, Dustin Poirier, he's been tweeting about the last fight of his career. So, that is what we're going to be talking about today in a bit of a tier list form. A tier list of the fight that I would be most excited to see for Dustin Poirier's last fight. Okay? This matters because when Dustin Poirier tweets, it actually goes somewhere. You know what I mean? This isn't Jamal Hill acting tough on Twitter and then walking into a gym saying, "We're not on Twitter now." And then when gloves get thrown down in front of his face, he starts to look around for somebody to hold him back so that he can back away and still look like a bit of a tough guy, right? When Dustin Poirier tweets, you know a fight is about to get booked. So I thought today we could speculate on what fight I am most excited to see next for Dustin the Diamond Poirier's last fight. Okay, now it is going to be in the form of a tier list. What do you want from me, boys? It's towards the end of the year. Let's have some fun with the content. Things have slowed down in the world of MMA a little bit. So we'll just throw together some quick tier lists. Just give us something to talk about until we wait for Dern to come back and fight. List. Right, so there's Dustin Poirier up in S tier, looking like an absolute bloody Chad. We will start all the way down in F tier, the least excited fight that I have in mind for Dustin Poirier. The one that I would want to see the least is Tony Ferguson. That's right, let's face it. Look, Tony Ferguson, he's a zombie. He's a corpse. He is a skeleton. He's a mummy. He is dust in the air. It would be more competitive to watch Dustin Poirier beat up 10 small Nina dramas. Put 10 Nina dramas in a shrink machine, shrink her down to miniature size, right? And have 10 Nina dramas try and beat up Dustin Poirier. That would be more fun than watching Dustin Poirier have a fight with Tony Ferguson at this point in Tony's career. Dustin could legitimately kill him. That is so harsh to say, but oh my god. And it's a crazy thing that I could see happening where Tony's like, "I want one last fight." He's like begging Dana White to put him back in there against someone. And Dana's like, "Oh yeah, wants one last fight." It's something insane that I could picture the UFC doing, and I would actually hate that. I would be anti-excited for this. I would be making YouTube videos campaigning against this very fight. Next one up on the D tier would be Colby Copington. This one would actually be fun. It would be competitive, but it wouldn't mean anything. It would just be to settle the beef between these two, right? They're like, and a beef settling fight is always a good fight in my eyes. The only problem I think that Copington, he'd do a lot of spamming, a lot of wrestling. I think he would do everything that he could to try and secure a win at this stage of his career. And also, Copington, he's not the most active fighter. And I think we need to see Dustin Poirier get in there the first quarter of 2025 and put his career away. The UFC like to have big quarterly events, and I think the first quarter should be about, although we do already have Saudi Arabia and we do have UFC 311 at the start of the year. I'm looking sick next year, boys. So maybe International Fight Night. International Fight Week in July. That's when we get Dustin Poirier back in there to send him off, say goodbye to him. And I wouldn't mind seeing Colby Copington and Dustin Poirier go at it, right? That one would actually be kind of fun to watch. The only problem with it would be that Copington would be spamming a lot, and I love that. Next up, Rafael Fiziev. This one would be a sick stand-up battle. Honestly, I think Fiziev beat Justin Gaethje. A lot of people think that's crazy, but I gave the second round to Fiziev, you know? And this fight would be an insane pace. And maybe I am getting a little bit biased because I love Muay Thai. And to watch Fiziev do his Muay Thai thing against Dustin Poirier gets me wet. I'm not going to lie. It gets me wet. But the problem with it is Fiziev, he's not that name level yet. You know, I think he would need one more win before he gets in there against Dustin Poirier. And I don't see Dustin Poirier taking on like a hardcore lightweight contender right now. And Fiziev is already booked to rematch against a Gamrot. So there's a thousand reasons that this couldn't happen. This is an excitement level tier list. And if this fight was to happen, I'd be very decently excited for it. B tier, and the B tier, she's greedy. She's got two boys in this slot, right? Number one, be Moicano. I need more. How would you not be excited? How do you not get fizz, get wet, get hard? How do you not get of the idea of Dustin Poirier versus Money Moicano? This sort of fight works as a do or die point in Moicano. Well, let's face it, every fight for Moicano is a do or die fight right now. He cannot afford to lose. He's correct, right? Dude is 35, 36 years old, coming off an injury, but he's also coming off a win. It's crazy where Moicano is right now. And And Moicano has already got the fans on his side. He was nice to the Guru. Now the Guru's been nice to Moik, and the Moik has built up his own career on YouTube. Moicano is... The only problem with Moik is his age. But if he goes in there and beats Dustin Poirier, after Dustin just had a razor close fight with Islam Makhachev, we'll get to Islam Makhachev, don't worry about that. I am super biased. But after he just had a razor close fight with Islam Makhachev, if Moicano goes in there and beats Dustin Poirier, it's on, boys. So I would be pretty excited for this Moicano matchup. Next one in B tier would be Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier. It's one of the greatest fights of all time. It's one of the greatest fights of all time. Do it again. What do we need to say more? Next one. Conor McGregor. A tier levels of excitement for this one. Would I be excited for this fight? Yes. Why? Several reasons. Number one, I think it would be hilarious to watch Michael Chandler not get the Conor McGregor fight if Conor comes back to the UFC and just skips over Chandler, and Chandler had his ass handed to him by Charles Oliveira. Hilarious. Number two, I think Conor McGregor is delusional enough to believe that he was doing well against Dustin Poirier in their third fight, in their most recent fight, the one where his leg blew up, right? I think Conor McGregor thinks he was doing well until his leg blew up. So I think Conor would go into this actually believing that there is a chance that he could beat Dustin Poirier. And a delusional cokehead Conor is cream, peak cream. Look at the cream, eh? That is peak Conor McGregor right there. So then we would get to see Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, great trash talking, Conor McGregor, fully coked up, fully self-belief Conor McGregor, and then Dustin Poirier just beating the absolute piss out of him. Excellent. And who doesn't love to see someone who is a serial rapist get the hell beaten up? You know, and whether or not you believe the accusations against Conor McGregor in his most recent stint that the jury believed, but then there's what happened in the NBA bathroom. Then there's what happened on his boat. The thing is, there's multiple accusations. You know what I mean? This isn't like someone has just said something about a guy who no one has ever accused of before. It's like Conor McGregor is getting accused of this sort of thing every year, every 6 months at this point. So they can't all be lies, boys. One on A tier that I would be super excited for is Islam Makhachev. Shut up. I'm biased. I am biased. I'm biased. It is what it is. I'm a Dustin Poirier fan. I had it 2-2 going into the 5th round. I'm biased. I would love to see him get another title shot. Why? Because I said so, all right? I said so. The UFC gives out undeserved title shots all the time. They gave Israel Adesanya like 1,000 title shots. He hasn't won a contenders fight since 2019, but he's gone into a title fight as a challenger like 100 times. So do the same thing for Dustin Poirier. I don't care. Would he win? No. But why not? I'd enjoy it. And this is not a what's most likely to happen tier list. It's a what would Doug like to see tier list. So shut up. Islam Makhachev, Doug would be A tier levels of excited. S tier also got 2 slots in it. S tier, Max Holloway, BMF belt, 155. Announce it today for International Fight Week. So both guys have time to fully prepare for this and come into it 100% healthy, as good as they could be. If Dustin wins, he retires with the belt, and that way the BMF belt is then vacated and the UFC can reset that belt in any weight class that they want against whoever they want. The UFC would absolutely love that. And if Max wins, it solidifies yet another amazing win on Max's resume. It's a rematch. Max Holloway didn't get it to go into this fight with a full training camp. He came in on short notice. So, but it's even aged well for Matt. Max was super competitive, even coming in on short notice. So this fight would be amazing. It would be amazing. It's at the perfect time for both of their careers. They're both coming off a loss. They're both big names. It could be for a belt that either way Max keeps as a lineal belt or it gets reset. I've said all of this just now, Doug. There's no need to continue on. This fight, you can see, I'm not kidding, S-tier levels of excitement. Legitimate S-tier levels of excitement. My MMA fandom is spewing out of me right now. And then the fight that I would be most excited for to see would be Goku versus Vegeta 3. This is the rivalry and the fight that I love watching the most. This is the one that I have built up in my head the most. Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje have both danced around the lightweight title and with each other for as long as I have been a fan of MMA. And I have watched these two battle it out against each other for that same spot of who is going to be the one to finally beat Abdulmanap's son, Khabib or Islam, like the two brothers, right? And these two consistently go for it and consistently go for war. And then you had Dustin Poirier getting the first win over Gaethje, and then Gaethje went and leveled up and got the second win over Dustin Poirier. And the rivalry between these two has been a sort of like, it hasn't been a John Jones DC rivalry. You know what I mean? They don't hate each other. There's a lot of respect there. And that's why I see this as like the Goku versus Vegeta storyline that I have made in my head. And now they're both at the ends of their careers. Like Gaethje has said, his next knockout, that next time he gets knocked out is the last time that he is getting knocked out, which I really respect, because it's very rare to see someone that already has brain damage know that they already have brain damage and not want to continue on receiving brain damage. That is to be commended. And Dustin, he said it, win or lose, this is the last fight. Like, this is the fight that me, as an MMA fan, that has watched this storyline in my favorite division with two of my favorite fighters, both coming off losses. This is it. This is it. This is as good as it gets. And if Goku gets the win, he can move on. He's got the win over Dustin Poirier. He was this close to getting a title fight against Islam Makhachev. Lightweight is a little bit dead. Get the win over Dustin Poirier, and then Goku, you have your last final boss fight against Islam Makhachev. Like, move forward. If Gaethje wins, Gaethje wins. If Dustin wins, they both shake hands and they walk out of the arena. The crowd goes absolutely nuts. I cancel my UFC subscription. There's no need to watch anymore. I shut the channel down. This is it. It's over. It's been a good run, boys. Goku and Vegeta have finally settled it. The anime arc of UFC is over. That's my tier list for what I want next for Dustin Poirier. Let me know down there in the comments. What do you want next for Dustin Poirier? What gets you as excited as it gets me out of these options? You'll notice Michael Chandler isn't on the list. I don't care. Know about it down there in the comments. If this is your first time here, g'day, my name is Dougie. I make an MMA video every single day of the week. I usually do these tier lists for the live streams, but hey, it's Christmas time, so let's have some fun with them on the weekly videos. If you want to know when I go live, hit that subscription button. If you're already on board with the channel, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And until then, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.